I don't know. I think I've only been over to the cemetery 3, 4 times. That bothers me.
Yeah.
And I just feel he's not there. He's at home.
Well, yeah.
And that's why it's so hard, but I couldn't stay home.
Right. But you don't think he's in
That's
heaven?
where all the memories are.
That's where the memories are, but his spirit must be up.
So, but no, well, I couldn't hear too well in church either, but
Right.
but I managed. But he comes to see me, so.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I had communion yesterday, and I had communion today.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with having communion more than once.
Well, what could I say? I don't want it. It was very much like ours.
Right.
I didn't even tell him. I
No.
thought, it's down, too late to take it out. So,
Communion's communion, I would say.
but they do say that the Lutheran, our Missouri Senate is the worst one. Well, Wisconsin Senate isn't so bad, but Missouri Senate.
I thought we were Wisconsin Senate.
Well, it's just one or the other.
Oh, okay. Did they switch it on me and I didn't know?
No, one or the other. I don't figure that out. So.
Yeah, I keep saying I have to get back to. If they didn't have the church service so early,
But,
you know, there's no farmers anymore. So why do you have to have it at 8:30 in the morning? And I know they do it because of the Powers Church, but it's too bad they don't do the Powers Church and then have us in the afternoon. Because I would go to that church if it wasn't at 8:30 in the morning.
yeah, it's early.
It's very early
But,
for that being the only service.
So it's but as far as well, I know I would never go back where Tina is.
Does Tina go to church?
I mean, to live,
Oh.
and that's where I would like to be, but not with her there. And well, Tom, a long time ago, Tom had said if something happened to Doug, he said we wouldn't let Alec be out on the street. We would take him in.
Uh-huh.
But not that she would want to, but she would because she should.
Right.
And I kind of feel that's how she would feel about me, even. That she should do it, but she don't want to. So that takes care of that.
Right.
Well, Sis can't, but I don't know. Now, I talked to Sis this morning, and, why don't you want to stay there? Well, that don't sound like she wants me to come home either.
I don't think it's that. I think Aunt Alice has other medical stuff that she's got to deal with downstate. So
Well, I know.
I think she thinks here you're taken care of.
And
the lack of worry is not there as much.
Well, I know at your ma's there. But they don't have the room.
Not right now. Not with.
Oh, not with all the kids.
No, you wouldn't even want it.
But that was nice too. I was in the chair most of the time, and your dad was busy running with that coffee pod and bringing caramel corn and donuts and. So I feel welcome there, but at Babe's, she already told me if it gets to the point where you crap your doors, you know where you're going in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Well, what's left?
Right.
So.
I said if it wasn't that I had so many dogs, even without my dogs, I could have always had a bed downstairs. You would never have got up my stairs. I don't know how I'm going to go up my stairs in my 30 years.
No,
But I don't know how you would ever feel about a grandchild cleaning up after you once you're
no,
at the bathroom.
I know it won't be for long. If I did go home, it wouldn't be for long, because when you get to be up in the late 90s, you ain't got too much time.
When winter coming too, that's another. At least here, nobody has to worry that you're going to go outside and slip on the snow and the ice.
So, and then they said, Sis said, well, but if somebody has to go for groceries or go somewhere, now they can just get in the car and go. And if I'm there, somebody has to stay home.
Yeah.
So, well, then who could it be? Well, I thought and thought and thought. I said, well, the only one that I could think of that could just come out for maybe an afternoon or that would be you.
Would be me. Which I was going to during the wedding.
But
When Jody's daughter, when Caitlin's getting married, I was going to go out there.
yeah.
Now I'll just come and sit here.
So anyway,
They didn't go out. They went as far as aunts and uncles, but they didn't invite like Jody's cousins. They stayed closer to their relatives. So my mom and dad were invited. I wasn't. Which is fine. I mean, I really got to be honest.
well, they were bound I was going, and I didn't see how I could.
Mhm.
I couldn't sit. I can't eat fast enough.
Uh-huh.
I gotta go to the toilet when I gotta go.
Right.
And I can't, no, I said, I can't go. And, oh, babe got a little pissed off because I said that. But,
Well, they may have wanted you to.
Huh?
It might mean something a lot to Jody and them that you were able to go.
oh yeah,
Right.
and I would like to go. But, to get to Marquette to begin with is a trip.
Mhm.
And then it's going to be a kind of an all-day affair.
Well, yeah.
And probably all night.
Yeah, you would be tired. You
Mm.
would be tired.
So I thought, I'd sit there and sleep. And if I slept, I might fart. So I said, I don't want to go. And of course, that bothered me. So, but then Sis said they would go for part of the wedding. For the wedding itself, I guess, but not for the other doings.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but that's taking stuff away from them. So now I said, I really don't have my mind made up. So, but here is here.
Mhm.
If I'm out there, if I think of something, well, get it for me.
Uh-huh.
All my sewing and all my everything is out there. So they've been good to me too.
Mhm.
And I could stay alone for a couple of hours while they went for groceries. But when they were gone for 3-4 days, I didn't.
Well, no, you can't do that.
Mm-mm. So
Was Tom going to the wedding?
Huh?
Was Uncle Tom going to the wedding?
I don't know if he was invited even.
Oh,
Oh, I imagine he was.
I would think they probably at least did aunts and uncles of,
Well, he probably
they did everybody else. They did aunts and uncles. I just think they didn't go out till they say Jody's first cousins. I think they did Jody's aunts and uncles, which would be Caitlin's great, and then I think they did Caitlin's cousins,
Yeah.
but not out one more generation.
Well, but I mean now Tom would be in the aunts and uncles.
Right.
But he don't go to too much either.
No.
So, but like the minister said, we're not the boss.
Nope.
You can make all the plans in the world, and they don't. Naturally, if I could get up and go in the wheelchair, even it would be, but everybody is deaf here, and
Mhm.
all them are sitting out in the hallway. Babe said, I don't think any of them talk.
No, they just sit there.
Yeah. So that would be lovely to just sit there and look at.
I suppose if you wanted to just look at people.
So, and that other one over here, I think your dad said did I tell you? Oh. He thinks it's a relative of his.
Of my dad's, it's a McCuskey.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were related to McCuskey.
I don't know if it would be on your mother's side or on to your grandma or grandpa, but he thinks, I don't know if she's a cousin of your. He was going by the name, and then your ma, your ma came back in here and said, "Oh, he just found out that's a cousin of his." But I don't know. I don't think she talks or anything.
I, t- I would have to ask them.
Uh,
I
well,
didn't think we were related to any McCuskeys.
so I don't know who. I know my ma used to know some Tubbers, and one was Vera, and one was Frances.
One was Aunt Margaret's teacher.
Huh?
Your sister Margaret said one of my dad's aunts was once her teacher.
That Frances.
Yeah.
That was a. So when I talked to your dad some time ago, I asked him if, because the house he tells me about is the same house as I think of.
I think it's one right by the cemetery.
Yes. So then I asked him one day, and oh, he didn't really know. And I said, well, did you have an aunt, or did your mother have a sister whose name was Frances, and she was a teacher? Oh, now that rings a bell.
Yeah.
So
I think that was his mom's aunt.
I don't know. But he said, and he said the name of Marcy, I think she has, and he didn't recognize that. I guess her name must be Marcella or something.
I don't know.
But anyway, it ended up being a McCuskey.
Huh.
So it's I just sit here and think and think and think some more. So I'm not. He said, "I hope you're hungry. It's time to eat." I said, "I'm not hungry." I said, "I'll eat a little, but it's not going to be too much."
Mm-hmm.
The thought of food just gags me.
Especially when they're feeding you 3 times a day.
Well, yeah.
I'm lucky if I eat once a day.
Well, that's just it. And if they're supposed to be kids' portions, I would hate to see what a man would get. I get a little lump of potatoes, and maybe
Uh-huh.
a lump of vegetable, and maybe a piece of meat that big cut. That's more than enough. But for breakfast, oatmeal. That's enough. But they also bring toast and eggs and bacon. Well, that's enough too.
Yes.
So one or the other is more than enough. So there's one nurse in here that does agree with me.
Yeah.
She said it just makes her sick to think of all the hungry people in the world and how much they throw away.
Yeah, and I think they have to throw it away.
But they bring me ice cream. It don't even get opened. Well, I'm sure they don't give it to somebody else. My secret pocket. Oh yeah, but last night was no better than any other one.
No.
I woke up and I said, well, what time is it? I thought it was about at least 6, 7 in the morning. 10 to 10. Well, they gave me the pill, and I went back to sleep till next time I woke up. Well, what time is it? 20 to 1. So it went like that all night.
That's about how I sleep.
So,
only with me, it's having to get up to go to the bathroom.
Huh?
I said that's about how I sleep, but it's about having to get up to go to the bathroom and then sleep for another 2 hours and then. Yep.
And then you just barely get sleep on again when either they come with pills or I just had that shot in my belly. I guess I gotta get one more.
What is it? For what?
A blood thinner.
Oh.
And after surgery.
Yeah, I had to get some after surgery.
Mm-hmm. So
I fell in the river.
I think I think I must have been having them since I've been here, 'cause my poor belly's feeling like a colander. Oh, do you know how to work this air machine?
I could probably. Was it charged?
Uh, it is now. Lionel, well, he put it in, but a man nurse came in here, and he said, "I don't know nothing about that."
Huh.
So, no, that wasn't that. That was something else.
Oh.
And then a woman nurse came in here, and she put it together. And oh, this. I turned it on this morning,
Yeah.
and 20 past 10, or 10:20. I thought, oh, that's almost noon. And it was dark. I tried it. It's 10:20. So when they came, I said, what time is it anyway? Well, he said 9 something. No, 6 something. No. 6. Well, anyway, no, it was 6 something. And when he came in here, he said, can I help you with something? I said, yeah. I think I'm going crazy. I said, this clock says 10:20. Oh, that's wrong, he said.
Oh.
Well, he was going to see if it could be set, but I don't know a thing about it. So, but the nurse, she did it. There's instructions, right?
Oh, okay.
So she got that back in shape, but he didn't know nothing about anything else. So
I'll look at that before I go.
Huh?
I'll look at that before I go.
Yeah, I had it on yesterday. I used
Yeah, because we made sure it was plugged in yesterday.
and it's been plugged in. But Babe says I need is a power strip. There's getting to be too many
Oh, maybe.
things. And Sis called me on my telephone, so that works. So everything.
It sure is a warm day out.
Well, that's nice. I'm still covered up like I'm.
It's not so bad in here, but man, you get out there and that sun is. Boy, Dante and Laura sure like your flat rocks.
Hmm?
The kids at my mom's house, the little kids, boy, do they like the flat rocks.
Oh, no, they like the flat rocks.
Oh, yes.
They're all getting along all right out there?
I guess.
Well, it would be nice if she got them settled down and they got some place to live and had some kind of a
Something, yeah.
system going. But
When Grandpa used to use the fields for the cows, did the cows get across the river often?
no, yeah, they did, and they go clear out through come out on the road on this end that comes out by Ruth's.
Yeah.
But we'd always catch them before they got that far.
Oh,
But they did get as far as Porth.
okay.
And that's a good little step. Because there was never, they were turned out and left to roam.
Uh-huh.
You never know where you might find them.
They were never bothered by bobcats
No,
or bear?
never, not that we, there was they had one sheep that was the leader. Nanny. Nanny was the leader, and the cows followed her wherever she went, and
Remember they used to know Grandpa's voice. Remember that?
Hmm?
Remember Grandpa's voice, and he'd go out there and go, "Come, boss, come, boss," and they'd start coming.
oh yeah, no. But she did a lot of knitting. I mean, they had their own spinning wheel and
Fourths?
yeah. So and she knit stockings and Mittens and
That's Grandpa's grandma.
Grandpa's wife. And Emma.
Right.
Yeah, she was the knitter. And then and May and I were the menders. When they had a bunch of socks that needed mending or
Uh-huh.
that, well, they were all put in one spot. And we'd go out under the tree with the yarn and fix them. They seem to last forever if you.
Yeah, I don't think no one darns socks anymore.
So, but oh yeah, she liked to knit like I like to sew.
Oh.
Of course, come to think of it now, the things she made didn't have too much shape. Not like your mother.
Right.
When she gets something made, it looks like something. But maybe it was because the sheep wool was just the wool was washed and then it had to be kind of all unstrung as it was going around to make it into yarn.
What was Grandpa's mom like?
Oh, that was Granny. She was a little old woman. I don't know what to say. She was old, and she lived with Aunt Frida and Uncle Jim, and she did the dishes. She'd clear off the table and take the dishes in the pantry and do the dishes, and put food away, and help with the cooking, and one day Ruth and I were carrying the wash out to the clothesline to hang it up. It was in a basket we had the side, and we were walking along swinging that basket, and we dropped it, and about 6 pieces fell on the dirt. Well, what could we do? We just grabbed them up and ran for the pump house and rinsed them in the pump house. And we didn't think anyone saw us, but she saw us.
Oh.
Oh, she laughed about that. She never told, but she thought that was a good joke. And every night, she climbed the stairs and saw that the kids were in bed. And, well, her husband, I think, had been dead about 10 years when I came up here.
Okay.
So he was just a little old man, too. And she was a little old woman. And she had a spot on her face. She was splitting wood, and a chunk flew and hit her in the face. It turned black and blue, and it never cleared out. So she always had that mark on her cheek. But she was a good-hearted little old woman.
What made you decide to come up here?
I was invited up for a vacation.
Oh.
Because Ruth is the same age as I am.
Okay.
Well, I'm from April to August older than she is.
Okay.
So that's how come I came up here.
And what did you think when you first saw Grandpa?
Well, I thought he was just a guy.
Oh.
But he came every day. They came to play baseball and whatever we were doing, because there was 3 of us, Kenny and Ruth and me. And it would be Ed and Dad would come, and there was another 2 guys around there. Then we could have a baseball team.
Oh, okay.
So he came pretty often.
When did you find out he liked you?
Oh, well. Well, I went home just before his birthday, I think, because then we started writing letters, and I had sent him a birthday card, I think, and he had said he got the card at his sister had brought it to him. And I made a joke of it and said, well, you needed your sister to haul it around. And then he answered. And from then on, we wrote. If it would have been the postage it is now, it'd been a different story.
Right.
Because we had a heck of a time getting 3 cents every now and then.
So when did you decide to go back?
Well, I had my appendix. I had an operation that winter, and Ma wrote and told him that I was in the hospital.
Okay.
And he came. I don't know just when he came down. I know before I went to the hospital, he gave me a watch. Because when I was in the hospital, I put it under the pillow. And they picked up the bedding and they just rolled the watch right in the bedding and it went to the laundry, but they didn't wash it. So it was, and then he came down. I don't know if it was in the spring, and he just loved our big barn and the animals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when he loved the barn, Pa always said, we'll